if you're using rasterizer, the rasterizer graphics card, which is sort of the traditional sort of way to draw graphics, where you have like a triangle in 3D space, and you take the coordinates of it and you rotate it and translate it,
so
and
they don't do it
perspective
anymore.
scale.
So how do they?
They do. They still do.
Okay.
So so we have a triangle. This is how the graphics card goes.
Right.
We have a triangle. We rotate, translate, and
Right. We put it in perspective. Right.
Yeah, we do all the projection stuff,
right,
and we get like the triangle.
Right.
And the hardware, traditionally, what you do is you figure out plane, the sort of the gradients of the sides of the triangle and all sorts of stuff. Basically,
right,
you're doing a rasterization of it pixel by pixel.
Right.
And so what graphics cards do nowadays is, I'm not exactly sure how they separate the figuring out what pixels are. Basically, you have an array of processors, and they're all giving their own pixel within this triangle. And they're also giving data like, this is the offset, this is where you are relative to your 3 points.
Right. But I mean, I would think that writing the code necessary for sorry, it's not coming for the ray tracing.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that be a little bit much to handle for if you did a high resolution? I mean,
if you did a high resolution, I suppose it's possible. Like, this is not theory. Like, what kind of graphics card do you have? Maybe we can show you API.
From my understanding, the ray tracing ignores the polygon model and just says, here's a pixel, follow it back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you get a pixel. I mean, that's what the shaders. You get a pixel. So from that standpoint, yes, that would work. But the math involved with following, yes, for each pixel you'd have to follow the light back, and what if you involve reflections and other stuff like that, I would think that the number crunching would be too much to put on the poor processor.
It turns out, this is actually kind of interesting, there is a new technique that is being used for graphics cards called ray marching. I'll explain ray tracing a little bit. It's basically what you said. You have a pixel, you have a camera, you have the camera's origin, you have every pixel being an array sort of vectors going out, intersecting the origin of the pixel. And then you take that and you find out the closest intersection to an object. Typically these are objects where you can figure out mathematically the exact intersection.
Right.
Vector sphere intersection sort of thing. So you're intersecting with a sphere. From that, maybe you take a vector from your intersection point to the center of the sphere, and then that becomes the normal of it, and you bounce the ray off your normal if it's reflective, and you continue.
Right, I mean, depending on how many light sources there are, you have to do a bunch of bouncing and how you set the shape.
Depending on how reflective it is. How many reflective spheres do you see in real life?
None, but I'm just saying. I mean, what about like the
two technique is interesting.
Right. Well, go ahead, continue. I'm more interested in the
So,
don't you ask the computer to render it?
You do ask the computer to render it. This is how it does it. So, if you want to do ambient occlusion, for instance, and you have a ray intersecting a point, and you have a normal and a bouncing off, and it bounces off in one location, that's not very ambient. You have to have a scattered sort of.
Right.
And people, a trick around this is radiosity. But that's an entirely different rendering technique.
Doesn't that simulate, like, kind of simulate photon mapping?
Photon mapping. Radiosity is rendering your image at the point where your ray intersects. And then that is sort of your theoretical scatter of rays. But with rays marching, forget you have an entirely different way of figuring out how you intersect an object. You can do it step by step, and you just say, am I in the object, am I out of the object? Am I in the object, am I out of the object? And so, once you find an intersection to an object that way, you don't have to scatter rays. You can just have a volume around it, and say, am I in the object, am I out of the object, around this volume. And so instead of 1,024 rays that are coming off of it, you can have 4, am I in the object, out of the object. Sort of, you can do it that way, and it's moving from ray tracing there's a problem of secondary rays, which is what you're saying is it's a problem of secondary rays. Most of the actual drawing is done in secondary rays, which is very problematic because a pixel could cast millions of rays.
Right. Well, it's an infinite number of rays if you live in the cube.
Yeah. Unless you go backwards, but that's an entirely different problem.
Right.
But we've moved it closer to the primary rays. So the more you move it closer to the primary rays, and I don't know, I suspect that drawing good pictures is closer to primary rays than we realize. You don't see any spheres that are reflective or anything like that in real life.
No, but it's cool to have.
Yeah, totally agree. Here, I'll show you a video of, since we might not have the best graphics for it, so we'll show you a video of ray marching.
Alright, cool.
Polite? I can type it? Holy shit. Okay, he has, yeah. Out of phase there. Okay, so if you want to know about demos, this is a good database. You can look up programs by their size. What are all the 4K demos that have been put in parties for the last 10 years and whatnot. So, let's see here. I believe one is called Finger Painter. There's this fellow RGBA that's IQ of a group called RGBA that recently came to the States. He's living in San Francisco now, so he does a lot of pixel shared ones. I can show you a procedural graphic firstly. This is a 4K procedural graphic using pixel shaders. No, that's not it. Hold on.
Because there's a variety of programs on there.
Yeah, it's a huge scene. It's a really huge scene. It's not present. I mean, it's actually present in the States, but we have a couple of parties that are there. Whatever, I'll show you Finger Painter. So this is a real-time ray tracer. This is traditional ray tracing as it was in the 80s. So this isn't a real marker, but hopefully you can watch a YouTube video of it. On the party, they ran this on a GTX 8800. This can be done in real time.
How big is this?
4K.
No,
Oh, sorry.
no audio.
But this is for Windows. There's an advantage for 4Ks for Windows because you can access the general. You can access the. This is in the soft sim. This is samples off the general MIDI sound wave set, which you can do in Windows because that's with the operating system. So the sound is in max buffer, but this is real time. I suppose I could show you the code for this too.
A lot of activity for a small amount of code.
Yeah. Can I drag Windows?
Yes.
Oh, too late. So let's see if we can find the code for that.
What's French?
What? Yeah, it's French. It's an onomatopoeia. I think that's onomatopoeia for the sound that trumpet makes. Yeah. There we go. So this is IQ's website. Oh, I'll show you another 4K. This is insane. Before I do that. This is a soft synth. IQ did not do the soft synth. A guy named Leonard did.